We're at the church of St Margaret of Antioch in the Suffolk village of Thrandeston, and we're here to look at a couple of witches who live in the choir stalls. There's no information available as to who carved them or why, but they are thought to be late 17th century, so they're undoubtedly influenced by the witch hunt hysteria that gripped East Anglia, and not just the activities of the self-appointed Witchfinder General Matthew Hopkins in 1640s, but also the trial of the two Lowestoft witches, Rose Cullender and Amy Denny, at the Bury St Edmunds Assize Court 20 years later. One of the witches holds a cat and the other an owl, clearly meant to depict their familiars, and I'm left wondering whether these carvings were the inspiration for a supernatural horror story by the writer M.R. James called The Stalls of Barchester Cathedral, which features a trio of malevolent carvings. Certainly Monty James was familiar with nearby Brome Hall and the town of Eye. But why the witches in this church? Perhaps it was prompted by the 1662 trial of the Lowestoft Witches, two elderly widows who were accused of 13 counts of bewitching local children. Although the case started with the two women arguing about the price of herrings with a Lowestoft fishmonger, it blew up into a cause célèbre and was widely publicised at the time, and, significantly, the two women would have passed by Thrandeston on their way to stand trial at Bury St Edmunds. The trial was presided over by Sir Matthew Hale, one of the most senior judges of the time, so his involvement gave credibility and encouragement to subsequent witch trials. One of the witnesses for the prosecution was Sir Thomas Browne, a philosopher, author and polymath, whose views that witches and witchcraft were real phenomena undoubtedly influenced the jury. And the court also accepted the concept of spectral evidence, in other words, witnesses saying they had dreams and visions in which they saw the witches casting spells on them. This last point might seem an obscure point of law, but it created a dangerous legal precedent that was exploited by the magistrates in the notorious Salem witch trials in the North American colonies some 30 years later. It goes without saying the two unfortunate Lowestoft women were found guilty and executed by hanging. Sir Thomas's involvement in the Lowestoft witchcraft trial is also reminiscent of the role played by the fictional Sir Matthew Fell in another M.R. James story, The Ash Tree. Set in Suffolk in the 17th century, Sir Matthew's testimony contributes to the conviction and execution of a local witch, Mrs. Mothersole, whose dying words were to place a curse on Sir Matthew. No fatal curse befell Sir Thomas Browne, who died of natural causes in 1682. However, when his tomb was actually reopened by workmen in 1840, his skull was stolen by a sexton and sold to a surgeon, who kept it on display in the local Norwich and Norfolk Hospital Museum for the next 80 years. It was not reburied with the rest of Sir Thomas's bones until 1922. I do hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, There are plenty more tales like that to be found in my latest book, Shuckland, available in bookshops and online from Amazon.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, please click the like button, drop a comment below, and support us by hitting that subscribe button. For more weird tales, visit our website www.urbanfantasies.com. Until next time, stay well, stay weird.